Check, check. Saskali, my friend. What's going on, dude? So glad to see the Instagram people. Virtual math coach. Whoa. Anna Clara Cheruzzi. Cachet Outfitters. Glad you're here. Do me a favor. Just do like my dude Saskali and just type check, check if you're on Instagram and you're ready to rock this morning on the Monday Mindset Movement. Yes, yes. All right. Nakia Muhammad, glad you're here. So glad to see all of you this morning. D. Bowden, good to see you this morning. All right. Glad you're here on YouTube. Those of you that are on LinkedIn, what's up, Chip? Good to see you, my friend. All right. We got some people on Facebook as well. Do me a favor. Just say good morning. Just say hey in the comments if you are here in the house this morning. So glad to see you on the Monday Mindset Movement. We're getting ready to rock. We're talking about high velocity decisions this morning. Yeah. All right. We're getting ready to rock and roll. We're getting ready. We got about 10 seconds before the show goes live. Here we go. Boom. We're going to go. Sterling McKinley, good to see you this morning. How you doing, my friend? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Monday Mindset Movement. I'm your friend, your host this morning, Robert Kennedy III, RK3. That's me, Monday Mindset Movement. It's 15 minutes, 20 minutes of motivation, inspiration, and elevation designed to get you rocking and rolling through your week. We start here because we want you to think. We want you to get moving. We don't want you to enter the week with the same old funky mindset. We want you to think and get rocking and rolling and moving. Takesha Hanor, so good to see you on YouTube this morning. D. Bowden, so good to see you. Austin KMVF, so good to see you. Sterling McKinley, good to see you this morning. Cachet Outfitters, good to see you this morning. Virtual math coach Anna Clara, good to see you this morning. We got some people on. I'm so glad that all of you are here this morning for the Monday Mindset Movement. And as we do, we start out with a question. So here is our question for today. Do you ever feel paralyzed or bogged down? Have you ever attempted to move forward or accomplish a dream, and for some reason you just can't seem to get out of your own way? If that's you this morning, type me. To paraphrase the great Les Brown, you know there's greatness within you, but have you ever just felt stuck? We're going to talk about that this morning. In the meantime, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this with somebody so that they can get the goodness of the Monday Mindset Movement this morning. Let's do this thing together. We're about to hit the ground running. Let's go. Yes. I'm so glad to see y'all this morning. Oh, Saskali, yes, it's a show. Froze45, good to see you. Erica D. Applewhite, ED, good to see you this morning. So glad that y'all are in the house this morning for the Monday Mindset Movement. Do me a favor, as I said before, share it with your friend if you haven't done so. And if you want to know when we're going live, text go live to 240-557-8679. 240-557-8679. Yeah, let's do that this morning. Can you tell I'm in a mood? I'm getting ready to groove this morning. Yeah. Welcome this morning to the Monday Mindset Movement. We've been talking about it, y'all. For the past few weeks, we've been talking about positive thinking. We've been talking about limiting beliefs. We've been talking about getting to know the real you. We've been talking about achieving and crushing your goals. Wow. If you've missed any of those shows, do me a favor, head on over to the YouTube channel to watch the replays, or you can just join us in the Monday Mindset Movement community just by going to mondaymindsetmovement.com to see all of the previous episodes. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about today? Today we're talking about high velocity decision making, the Jeff Bezos method. Yes. So why are we even talking about that? Well, I think all of us have received or we've gone through these moments where decision making is hard. I remember there was a big project that I needed to work on. I had a huge training coming up and I needed to get this content done. But when I came into my office, I saw papers on my desk, so I decided to clean them up. And then when I checked my email, I saw that there was something to fill out. And then I remembered that I had to send out a quick note to my email list. Then I did that. And then I needed to write something down in my planner before moving forward. And then I didn't want to forget it. So I made sure that I did that. Then I had a technical issue with a piece of software and I had to hop on the phone with tech support. And before I knew it, 5 hours had passed and I had done nothing on the project. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been in that space? Have you ever experienced that? Ramon Ray, good to see you this morning. Natalie Gregg, so glad that you're here on Facebook this morning. Good to see you. Has that ever happened to you? You've got something important to do, something critical, something crucial, maybe the biggest opportunity you've ever had in your life. But you got stuck. And here's what happens to some of us. And here's the crazy piece of this. Sometimes we're stuck, but we don't know that we're stuck because we're in motion. Sometimes we're stuck, but we don't know that we're stuck because we're busy. Sometimes because we feel movement, we think we're moving forward, but we're really just busy. Why does that happen? Why does that happen? I like to say it this way. Busy is a deceiving version of stuck. Why do we get stuck? Why did I, knowing that I had probably the biggest project of my life right in front of me, the biggest opportunity of my business up to that point right in front of me, why did I choose to do all of the small things instead of working on the project? Why? Well, here's what happens. I think from a process or from a perspective of self-awareness, if I had to go back, or when I went back and looked at the project and I asked myself, why did I not do what I needed to do? Or why was I delaying doing what I needed to do? I had to admit to myself that the truth is, I was afraid. It was a big project, big government project. I was afraid of looking like I didn't know what I was talking about. So I delayed. I was afraid of being criticized. I was afraid of getting it wrong. So I delayed. And when we are afraid of what's next, we tend to delay our decision. When we are afraid of being criticized or failing or getting it wrong, we delay decision. And sometimes we call that procrastinating. we want a good name for it, right? We call it procrastination. And some of us think that procrastination is because people are lazy. And some of us have even convinced ourselves that we procrastinate because we operate better under pressure. Yeah, Garen, sometimes it's because we're afraid of what's next. Yeah, sometimes we convince ourselves that we procrastinate because we operate better under pressure. But what's happening is that we're delaying our decision until we feel like we have no other option. That's what's happening. We're delaying decision until we feel like we have no other option. And you do that often enough, it becomes sexy. We delay decisions often enough, we feel like that's the best way for us to operate. The most crucial aspect of success. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this. The most crucial aspect of success and any achievement is first the ability to make a decision, and second, the courage to act on the decision without 100% of the data. Sometimes we say that the reason that we're waiting is because we got to get everything in order. We've got to get all of the ducks in a row. We've got to get everything lined up. We need more information in order to make a decision and move forward. The most crucial aspect of success and any achievement is first, the ability to make a decision, and second, the courage to act on the decision without 100% of the data. We look at other people and we wonder how come they're able to achieve high levels of success, or they're able to achieve much more than we are. And one of the biggest differentiators is people's ability to make decisions quickly. I want to talk about Jeff Bezos for a second. Jeff Bezos, and if you don't know the name, I'm sure most of us know the name, was the CEO, but the founder of Amazon. And Jeff Bezos constantly operates under pressure. And he says one of the keys to his success is high velocity decision making. Right? Oh, let me pause for a second. I want to hit what Cynthia says here. Cynthia tends to delay when she doesn't know how to start, but when she figures it out, she flows. And I want to lean into that for a second, because the question is, when we don't know what to do, can we still move forward? How do we move forward, or how do we create success? And here's why I want to lean into this morning, because what happens is when we delay our actions, quite often we delay our success. And Jeff Bezos says one of the keys to his success is high velocity decision making, right? As a matter of fact, when they write their principles of leadership on their website, bias for action is one of the company's 14 principles, right? So he wrote a letter in 2016, and he wrote this to his employees and the team, and it said, "I work in an Amazon building named Day One. And when I moved buildings, I took the name with me," he wrote. "Day two is stasis, followed by irrelevance, followed by excruciating, painful decline, followed by death. And that's why it's always day one at Amazon." That's what he wrote in his letter. And for Jeff Bezos, day one was the curiosity of the beginning and the willingness to jump in and make decisions and innovate. And day two is when you're waiting until you have a lot of or most of the information. Jeff Bezos believes in high velocity decision making. He wants day one decisions because, especially in business, while imperfect, the practice of day one decisions gets you there quicker. And when you make mistakes after making day one decisions, if you make them quickly, then you have a bit more time to recover. Now, he doesn't put away day two decisions or more calculated decisions. And he says there's value in day two decisions, and many day two decisions are high quality decisions, but they get you there slower. Buster Benson wrote an article for CNBC where he explains some of Bezos' rules, Jeff Bezos' rules. And I want to share 3 rules from that list of high velocity decision making. Number 1 rule: never use a one size fits all decision making process. Never use a one size fits all decision making process. The way that you make decisions in one situation isn't going to be the same way that you make decisions in another situation. If you feel like you need to get more information in one situation, you may not need to get all of that information in another situation. Be willing to be nimble in your decision-making process. Be willing to be nimble, and also be willing to deal with the consequences or what comes based on your decisions. Sometimes you're going to make a wrong decision and need a redo. There's some decisions in life that once you make them, oh my gosh, you can't go back. But a lot of decisions are reversible or correctable. And sometimes you're going to need a redo, but the quicker that you do that redo, the quicker you make the decision, the more chance you'll have, or the more time you'll have for correction. That's number one. Number two, most decisions should be made with somewhere around 70% of the information you wish you had. That's rule number two. Most decisions should probably be made with 70% of the information that you wish you had. If you wait for 90%, in most cases, you're probably being slow. If you're good at course correcting, and you do become good at course correcting over time as you practice the art of making quicker decisions. If you're good at course correcting, being wrong may be less costly than you think. And one of the reasons we delay decisions is because we think there's going to be a heavy cost. If you're good at course correcting, being wrong may be less costly than you think, but being slow is going to be expensive. So I'll repeat those. Rule number one of high velocity decision making: never use a one size fits all decision making process. Rule number two: most decisions should be made with somewhere around 70% of the information you wish you had. As a matter of fact, Colin Powell, who was a high ranking military official in the United States, said that a lot of times they made military decisions with about 60% of the information. Because if they delayed until they had 90% of the information, they may not have been around to make a different decision, right? So you don't always need all of the information. Analysis paralysis, we keep doing it over and over, and we keep thinking it over and over, and we're looking for all of the facts and all of the data and all of the information before we make the decision. And we wait and we wait and we say, I'm getting information, I'm gathering information, but we're really procrastinating because we don't want to make the wrong decision. High velocity rule number three: recognize misalignment issues early and then escalate them immediately. How many times have you been in a situation where you've got to make a decision, or you make a decision and you're kind of banging your head against the wall? Everything's going slow. It's going through the mud. It's slogging through the mud. And maybe you're making a decision with somebody else, a spouse, a partner, a colleague, and you're fighting about this decision. Recognize misalignment early. And then if you're not able to move forward quickly, bring in another party to help resolve that misalignment. Okay? Recognize misalignment issues early and then escalate them immediately. Right? Because success, while it is a long game, while it does take a long term, it requires multiple steps. And if you persist, or if you perseverate, or if you delay on one step, you delay that success. If you wait until you have 100% of the information all of the time, then you delay that success. Right? So ultimately, we get unstuck by making decisions early and by being courageous enough to live with the decisions. Do this enough, practice this, and you learn to assimilate enough information to make better decisions. Some people are nervous about making quick decisions because, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail, and I can't recover. Yes, right. There may be some quick decisions or some decisions that you will need to be a little bit slower on. But the majority of decisions, you can make them quickly enough, or you can get practiced enough to gather information quickly, or the information that you need to make the decision. You don't need all of the information. I look at Instagram or some of our Facebook or some of our social platforms, and we spend so much time fascinated by celebrities and people who are in certain positions. And we wonder how they got there and what privilege they had when more often than not, the difference between them and you is that they were willing to make a decision quickly and move into action on that decision. I cannot forget the time that I had on my podcast. I interviewed William Hung. I don't know if you remember William Hung, but William Hung was one of the guy that sang She Bangs on American Idol, I think season 4. And William Hung got his 15, 20, 30 minutes of fame, whatever you want to call it. And William Hung may not have been the greatest singer, but the difference between William Hung and most people that sit on their couches and remain in obscurity is that William Hung made a decision and then he went into action on it, right? He decided that I don't care what people think. It doesn't matter if I get accepted. It doesn't matter if I make it to the finals. It doesn't matter if I fail or not. I'm going to do this thing. He made a decision, boom, applied, walked into the room and did it. And the difference between most of us and people who are successful is that they were willing to quickly make a decision and move into action on that decision. This great book by Michelle Rosen, Dr. Michelle Rosen, is called 2-Second Decisions. And I don't know if you're seeing what's on my quote here today, but it says, stop regretting the past, complaining in the present, and being fearful of the future. Make a decision. Make a decision. She also says you will become what you choose to become based on what you're willing to do to make it happen. So the questions that I want to leave you with today is, who do you really want to become? And what are you willing to do? Who do you really want to become? And what are you willing to do? Last week, we asked you to take action by deciding or thinking about something that you always wanted to do but were scared to do and putting a date on your calendar for when you will do that thing. And then taking one step towards it today. I want to reiterate that action step. What is something that you know that you need to do? What is something that will drive you towards that next level or that success for you, but you're scared to do it? You have some hesitation about it. Put a date in your calendar and make a decision about that thing, then get in action on it. Today. Hey, y'all. Today is Monday. We want to shift your mindset to a place of growth, but it doesn't just start and stop on Monday. We want to encourage you to take your Monday mindset into tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Be curious, make a choice, move, start a movement, be a movement. Join me next week, Monday at 8 a.m. for the Monday Mindset Movement on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. Yes. Hey, y'all. Stop regretting the past, complaining in the present, and being fearful of the future. Make a decision. Move is waiting on you. Let's go.